New free-to-play Bardock. Will he awaken to an LR? And when will he come to global? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the new free-to-play quest mode SSR, the AGL Battle from Another World Bardock. This guy kind of came out of left field. We knew JP was going to be getting a new quest mode character here this month, but I don't think anybody expected it to be a Bardock, right? I think this comes as quite a surprise, especially coming on the heels of Global receiving the AGL Bardock EZA. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about what this guy is doing, what we can expect to see from him upon his awakening, whether or not we can expect an LR, and who might that LR be, right? Based on previous quest mode stages, we know we can expect a bit here, as well as talk about when we can expect to see this on global Dokkan. So let's go ahead, let's jump in, let's talk about what this guy's doing. So leader skill, time travelers, category key to HP attack defense 30%. All right, that leader skill alone tells us all we need to know about how this guy is going to awaken. That 30%, that is almost always an indicator that this character will awaken to an LR. He'll jump up to 50 on the TUR, he'll jump up to 120 or 130 on the LR. That's almost guaranteed what we can expect to see here, but you know, maybe they change it up. But this is exactly what we saw with the SSR Tech Trunks when he dropped as just the SSR. Another little indicator here, right? The base stat spread is basically in line with all other free-to-play LRs. It falls in the same category, right? In the hidden potential, it is 5,000 across the board in all categories. So it's 5,000 points across the board. That basically tells us that this dude is awakening to an LR. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, first, let's take a look at what he's doing, right? His passive gives him attack and defense 80%. He also gets attack and defense 20% for all super class allies. And when facing Wicked Bloodline, he also gets an increase in 80% to his attack. He has critical hit 30%, and he also has an additional 30% to do a super attack if all allies are super types. And then finally, he also gets another attack and defense 40% when activating the super attack. Now, all of this combined with this super attack, the Riot Javelin, which raises his attack infinitely and raises his defense for one turn, basically tells us this dude is going to be an attacker, right? He's going, he for an SSR, the amount of attack that he's gaining through his passive alone, combined with his attack raise, is actually quite a lot for an SSR. I mean, I expect to see this guy hitting some pretty decent numbers on his attack, right? I wouldn't expect too much defensively. After all, he is an SSR, and we can see that through Halvard's calcs. Like, his max defense is just under 400k at 350k. So, granted, this is this is an SSR. Let's be real here. So the question is going to become, what are they going to do for him, with his awakening? Well, if he goes to an awakening LR, all we can hope for is that they increase the amount of defense that he's getting with each attack that he does, right? Maybe they pull the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta thing, the AGL one, where his defense increases with the number of attacks he does, and they increase the amount of attacks he does, or they increase the amount he raises on his defense, or they just give him a higher start of turn defense, right? Could be something like that. Or they could go the Trunks and Broly route, which I doubt they would do, but give him, some type of defense based on orb pickup, right? The Trunks and Broly get theirs based on the rainbow orbs, as well as the number of supers that they can do. So they could do something like that, but they were not an all-out attacker in the way that this guy is. So I don't expect his defense to be the greatest, but I feel like we could see some pretty decent attack numbers out of him as he awakens to the LR status. And so that begs the question, what will this guy awaken into? Well, I know the first thing everybody thought when they saw Bardock was this guy right here. Could this be the opportunity Dokkan is taking to release the Dokkan version of the Legends Limited GOKU and Bardock, right? This is initially based off that promotional art with Goku, Super Saiyan Goku and Bardock. For Legends, they turned it into a base Goku and Bardock, and I think that could be the possibility Dokkan could go if they go that way. The only problem with that theory is the categories he's on, right? He's on Time Travelers, he's on Goku's Family, he's on Resurrected Warriors, Low Class Warriors, Team Bardock, Revenge, Storied Figures, Powerful Comeback, Bond of Parent and Child, and Pure Saiyans, right? He's almost in line exactly with his Dokkan Fest AGL counterpart, who is also a base form Bardock. The only difference is he is not on Miraculous Awakening, nor is he on Crossover or Transformation Boost or Exploding Rage, right? So these three here, or Legendary Existence for that matter. So this begs the question, right? I think without those categories, now to be fair, it does mean that those categories can be released on him later. Like if he awakens into a Super Saiyan Bardock, he will gain, right? He will gain Legendary Existence, Miraculous Awakening, and probably Exploding Rage as well. However, the lack of some of these categories, or the lack of categories here, and the addition specifically of the Team Bardock category here, means it is very unlikely that this could be a Bardock and Goku, strictly on that category alone. We could get away with storied figures, right? If this was the Super Saiyan Goku, we could even get away with Resurrected Warriors, right? The Dokkan Quest mode could be anything, right? Like they wish Goku back and he comes to this timeline or something, right? They wish him back from Namek and he shows up here. It could be something like that, right? Powerful Comeback, right? If it's, you know, Super Saiyan Goku is on Powerful Comeback, so you know, you could argue that there is an argument there, but it's simply this Team Bardock link. Now, Dokkan could go way out of left field and throw Goku onto Team Bardock, right? We don't know what's going to happen to this story. In fact, very few people actually know what's happening in the story in general, but like right now, the Dokkan story mode is based like on Global. We're basically marching toward a final battle with Frieza, Cooler, and King Cold. So it actually kind of makes sense that Bardock is the leading character for this. However, I don't think he's going to be paired with anybody because there's not really anyone else that could fit this. I did have one possible theory, right? This could actually be a double Bardock, like time travel shenanigans, right? This could be Bardock and Bardock for some silliness, right? So it could be a standalone Bardock here, right? And then his counterpart, right, could be a Super Saiyan Bardock, right? So that's how he would still end up getting the Super Saiyan, but it's literally two different characters as a Joining Force unit. Could be something silly like that. I mean, the Dokkan, nobody expected Broly and Trunks, and yet here we are. So could be something like that, or the more than likely scenario is he's going to awaken into an LR, and being that he is on the Powerful Comeback category, there's a good chance he might end up having a revive that revives him into Super Saiyan, right? Could be, right? So it's basically a redo of the AGL counterpart, the Dokkan Fest counterpart. Who knows? But I definitely think Bardock and Goku is probably the least likely of the outcomes, given what's here for his categories in this base form. Trunks and Broly were a whole different story because they basically had two categories that they were on, and so it opened up the possibilities a lot more than this did. This one having all of these categories actually really limits it, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see what it could be. You know, throw in the comments, who do you think it could be, right? What do you think this is going to awaken into? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, finally, the question on everybody's mind is, when is this likely to come to Global Dokkan? Well, JP Dokkan just got this guy released in-game as part of the quest mode update to reach Area 35 and the last stages of that. Now, us on Global, we have just gotten stage 34, so we're a couple areas behind here when it comes to JP. However, we do know from the Global timeline that was put out during the last that last producer's video that we got, we know that the timeline has them updating the quest mode between August to October timeframe. So we would probably see the next quest area happen during August. It won't give us the Bardock just yet, and then probably during Worldwide campaign or into the October campaign, we should see this Bardock drop on Global, possibly sooner, because they have been accelerating things, so they might just do the entire update all at once in August. That's an entire possibility, right? They could update 34 Part 2 and then give us 35 in August, right? That could happen, but I would say anywhere between around August to September timeframe is when we should see this guy drop on Global, and by then we should have an idea of what he's going to awaken into, at least at the TUR status, right? And hear me out here, it could happen during September, actually, right? This quest mode update could be one of the sync features, right? The awakening to the LR Bardock could happen simultaneously on both Global and JP during September's Worldwide. That is a possible theory. I don't know if it's, you know, anything can happen with the sync happening during Worldwide. We don't know for certain, right? Because they've been very kind of wishy-washy about how they're handling this. So, I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there as a possibility. So, guys, that is it for the video. That's kind of what we can expect to see from this new Bardock. He's going to be a great attacking unit, great free-to-play. And if he ends up being good enough, he might just fulfill that low-class warrior necessity for the AGL Dokkan Fest EZA. Who knows, right? Depends on how good he ends up being. But I'm excited to see how this guy turns out. I'm excited to see what he awakens into. And guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think this guy is going to awaken into? And let us know when you think the likelihood of him dropping is. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.